over the last couple of years. We've gone on big streaks. We've won 7 in a row. The year before that, we won 10 in a row. So
that's right.
We have been in these positions before.
Especially Lecker, who's now coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And if you've watched him at all over the last couple of weeks, he's a wrecking ball, mate.
He is. He's know a little bit about him. I've watched him come through the grades. Those young legs and some punch in them. It's some bright days ahead for the Warriors. They've got a good crop of youngsters coming through.
DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Well, what a pleasure and what a treat this is. Danny Buderus joins us again in Christchurch, and we've met before at the Nines and had you on the show a few times. And I'm just going to go through quickly this resume. Won a couple of premierships with Newcastle, played over 20 Origins, over 300 first-class games, and a Delhi M winner. Just, well, what a resume. Thanks so much for joining us again, mate. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, pleasure, mate. No worries at all.
Well, this is a bloody tough ask. Let's start with that. Newcastle have lost 4 in a row. Started the season well, won a couple of games, lost 4 in a row against a Warriors side that are going to be really buoyed by that hard-fought win against the Broncos.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a rut. There's no doubt at the moment. The only way you can get out of something like that is working your way out and investing in those the hard parts of the game. And the Warriors have had a really solid start to the season, and they give you nothing. They're a team full of young legs and very powerful as well. So definitely got our work cut out against us. But we come over here. We just got to get back into the swing of things. Completion rates is something from our point of view. We need to limit the errors, and we'll give ourselves a massive chance.
Danny, how close do you feel it is for the Knights to be able to get back on a winning record? And I say that because we watched the Dolphins lose 4 games at the start of the season, have won 3. We watched the Cowboys lose 3 at the start of the season, have won 3. So you can get on these streaks. Yeah,
there's no doubt. Like, over the last couple of years, we've gone on big streaks. We've won 7 in a row. The year before that, we won 10 in a row. So
that's right.
We have been in these positions before, and the only way you can get out of it is through sticking together, and hard work and training your way out of it. And now all teams will go through these periods, but at the same time, we've found ours early in the season. So statistically, we've got to improve, especially around our attack, and we understand that, and hopefully the boys will put in a good showing tomorrow night.
So when you say train your way out of it, as a professional player, and been through what you've been through, talk us through that. Is it just simply, and it's not simple obviously, but it's just a matter of getting the players out there, and you know what you're doing, you guys. You are professional. You've achieved before, and just going through those routines and getting them back into that headspace of just catching the ball, passing the ball, knowing who your mate is around you. Is it really those things?
Oh, just training with a steely mindset. Every time you get an opportunity to get on the grass, you work hard, and you know your specifics of what you want to do, and defensively, every session you walk off knowing that you've achieved something, and you can put it to the fore when you're on the field next time. So you got to stay together, and you've got to be desperate. That's the other thing, is when you train desperate, and you got to play with that little bit of a steely mindset and a gritty mindset. We're a tough footy team. We have had some injuries, and we're not looking for any excuses around that. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we give ourselves an opportunity with some possession. I think possession and completion rates is high on the agenda for us.
Do you detect anything when you see, like over the last couple of days, the lads training that? Do you start seeing a different kind of feeling when you're talking about getting that determination and desperation back?
Yeah, for sure. It comes down to what is put on the field, and in those 80 minutes, that's the most important part. You can, like I said, we can train our way, and we can be steely and gritty on the training paddock, but it always has to happen on the field. So you're always judged on the field, and the players totally understand that. And we've got an emotional day tomorrow with Anzac Day, here in New Zealand and especially in Christchurch. So, we're at a great opportunity. We're wearing a jersey which is really super special, Newcastle's own jersey, and the players understand the enormity and representing that jersey and the people of 35th Battalion, and we're excited to step out in that jersey tomorrow night.
I'm glad you brought that up. I don't normally like the references to war or anything. We're going to war, because those who did go to war actually did. It's a completely different experience. But just being able to kind of blend that and give the match some extra purpose and feeling on, as you say, what is an enormous day for both of our countries. It's really special.
It's super special, and what a privilege and an opportunity for the players to be able to get on the field and represent the game, but represent themselves and their family, and on a stage like that. So tomorrow we'll kick off early.
Yep.
with some of the parades and different things we will watch here in New Zealand. And, we've already had some of people that are representing the 35th Battalion and the Invictus part of it all. They've come and spoke to us, and the players understand what it takes to work hard for their mate and represent that jersey.
What do you like about what you've seen with the Warriors so far? And we've had a shocker against Canberra, bounced back with 3 wins. Had a shocker against the Storm, bounced back against the Broncos. I feel that's really important, what you do the very next game.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's one thing with us where we, I guess, emotionally, you can get up for the next game when you've been kicked a little bit when you're down, and the Warriors did do that. They've got a great response and great comeback attitude, and they're never dead sort of thing. So as you saw last week, Boyd, it's a super game, and I've never seen a golden point like that where there's not been one tackle in golden points. So
crazy, man.
Yeah, crazy. So they'll be really excited to get down here and represent their country down here. I guess that's the other thing for them. They get to take the game down here, and it's got the makings for a great clash. And like I said, both teams will be super proud to represent, our game on Anzac Day.
They love their footy in Christchurch. They love their league in Christchurch. And obviously, there's a brand new, beautiful stadium, which is about a year away. And so that one, Addington, is going to be packed to the gunnels. So I think it's been sold out for weeks, months. Yeah,
for sure. It looks stunning, this ground over here. Would love to come back one day and play here. I've only ever holidayed in Christchurch, and to come back here and do a little bit of work in our industry, which is obviously rugby league, and represent rugby league over here. And like you said, they're sport lovers, and we've been nothing but warm embraces down here. And like you said, there's a sprinkling of people that love their footy down here, and obviously rugby's the sport they love. But I think rugby league's gathering some momentum, that's for sure.
Okay, explain this NRL season then to us. You got the Doggies who are 6-0. Everyone else has lost games. You look at a Melbourne Storm side who put the 36 points unanswered against the Warriors in that first half was such a brilliant 40 minutes a league, and yet they then get turned over and concede about 40 points to the Dolphins in a period. It's so hard to explain, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. A lot goes into a performance, and it might be something to do with some injuries. It might be something to do with the possession. It's the game at the moment is possession based. There's no doubt. If you win the possession and you win the meterage, get more meters than the opposition, you can most likely walk away with the 2 points. And if you don't give yourself a chance by holding the footy and making more meters than the opposition, it's a hard game. And that's the other thing we've got to make sure we're disciplined in every area to take the ball off the Warriors, because you can see what they can do when they've got the footy.
And also, the exciting thing is there's a couple of young blokes who, some stars are returning, obviously, who had their time last week. You got, especially Lecker, who's now coming off the bench. Yeah. And if you've watched him at all over the last couple of weeks, he's a wrecking ball, mate.
He is. He's know a little bit about him. I've watched him come through the grades, and that having those young legs and some punch in them. It's there's some bright days ahead for the Warriors. They've got a good crop of youngsters coming through.
How fast is that game now when you look at it? How fast does it become?
Yeah, it's very fast. And like you said, if you haven't got the ball and possession, and all of a sudden you get 6 to goes, and you're multiplying your sets, defending 18 tackles, and a lot of the training is around defending 18 plays and 24 plays, or whatever it is. But it's definitely a fast game at the moment. That's the way we're all heading, and the entertainment wise, and that's what we're in the entertainment industry with rugby league. So. Yeah, the game's in a good spot. There's no doubt there's a lot of interest in it.
And also that defending, I'll go back to the Bulldogs. I mean, how impressive have they been over the last few weeks? Minus a couple of really big names in their team, but just refusing to let tries be scored against them.
Yeah, no, the Dogs are, they're in a period that's a bit of a golden period, isn't it, to start the season off. And we played them a few weeks ago, and they're a team that give you nothing, and that's the thing. We're probably giving the opposition way too much with our possession rate. So they're a stingy team. They're a gritty team, the Dogs, and I think they're representing what they all like to be called. The tough days of the Bulldogs, and they're in a good spot. There's no doubt about that. They're all pretty fit. I think they got the bye this week, and all their fans, as you saw, 60-something thousand in there last week. Very happy with their footy team.
Do you feel like everyone is still in with a chance of making the 8? It didn't matter where you are on the table, because we saw Parramatta pull one out last week, for example.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess that's the other part of it. the game that everyone's loving at the moment is you're not sure who's going to win on the day, and
It's hard to pick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard to pick it. But the top 8, it's a hard one to make up at the moment. A lot of teams are still working a few things out, and will make a run at it. And as you saw, Mitchell Moses comes back. They can swing. One of them, a player might get injured. That's a star player on a team, and all of a sudden they might struggle. So, yeah, fingers crossed you can get your right players on the field at the right time, and you can get a run at it.
How much did you enjoy Origin last year, mate?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it's getting to that time, isn't it? It's getting excited. Yeah. It's always that time with Origin, I think. Everyone's got a team they want to pick, and everyone's starting to pick their team. So, once again, it'll come down to injuries and whatever. But Origin last year was super. I don't know whether or not they'll bring an Origin over here one day, but they're talking about that one time. It's a game that we want to take to the masses of the world. Origin, it's still the showpiece of our game. The international game is starting to fire right up as well. So yeah, our game, Vegas and what we're doing and different things like that. Who knows where Origin will go? But at the moment, we're kicking off in 3 games. I think it's Brisbane first, and then we're over to Perth and Sydney. So bring it on.
All right, well, all on tomorrow night in Christchurch. You look great, mate. I mean, you're obviously enjoying life at the moment. It's treating you well.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, kids are growing up, doing my thing, and I didn't have to usually travel away with the team last year, but I'm travelling with the team, which is good. Very, very excited to be over here in Christchurch. And like I said, I travelled over here last year and drove up to Queenstown and
great spot, beautiful.
Yeah, had a great time. So your country's beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining us again, mate. Always appreciate you.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Mate. Thanks, Bunt.
DSPN.